everybody, I'm Trin Johnson and welcome to Dust in My Eye. So you may know that I have been painting these Lightwish calendars and I am on April and I've been painting them with these little palettes I made for the seasons. I have spring here and I'm going to start spring today and I'm so pleased to be done with winter. Not that I didn't like my palette, but I am really kind of done with winter. Aren't we always at this time of year? But that was my winter palette. This is my spring palette. This is my summer palette. And this is my fall palette. And I painted January, February, and March with winter. And this will be April, May, June. And then July, August, September, and October, November, and December in this one. And I'm really excited to be moving on. So I am painting some poppies today. And I was very pleased when I decided to paint poppies that I had included transpiral orange in this set because that was the one that I was using when I was doing it in class this week. And I thought, oh, that'd be a great picture for the calendar. And then I was like, oh, but I'm using my spring palette. And looky there, it did have the right colors on it for what I wanted. So also I was thinking Veriditer blue, well, however you say that. I always say Veriditer and that's not Veriditer. Anyway, that blue for my skies and it was there too. So yay me, I picked good colors. I guess when I did this, I picked the colors I would want, which is way too thinking ahead for what I would expect I would have been able to do. So I'm going to stick this down just because I find it easier when it's not moving around. I have drawn my picture in. I don't know that you can see it. It's very faint. And I drew it with this, it's an Albrecht Dürer Faber-Castell water-soluble cold gray pencil. And I like them because they dissolve as they get wet and then I don't have residual pencil lines. But today I'm doing it a little bit differently than I've done for the calendars. And I'm going to mask off where my poppies are. And I'm going to be using this Renaissance masking powder. You see it there, yeah. And I really like this stuff. It takes a little trick getting used to it, but I figured out how to work with it, and I used it in class last week, and it worked really well. I use these makeup applicators. You can't really see what you're doing, but you just kind of gotta smush it around. If you want a really exact line, I would not use this method. But for this sort of purpose, this worked great. Its advantages are it erases off one with an eraser, like a regular eraser, and therefore you don't have to wait for it to dry after you put it down. You have to wait for the paint to dry to take it off, but not too hard. So I'm just dipping in here with my makeup applicator, and we're going to start up here just because then I know what I've done, because it's kind of hard to tell. And I'm going to smush it around in the places where I want it. Now some of it's going to go outside the lines. Some of it might not completely cover, but I'm okay with that. So there's one. Take a little more. And I'm just going to whoop through these, putting this masking powder down. Okay, this reference photo I am using very loosely is from pexels.com. But I'm really not worrying about being too accurate with it. it was just a loose interpretation. Now, it's kind of powdery. I'm going to blow just to get the excess gone. Might have some spattering. The thing is, if I wanted a really exact line and wanted to use this method, I would use an eraser, like one of these electric erasers or this little guy. And I would just erase around the outside of the edge that I want to be a sharp edge. So let's just do that around this one. So in case I went out of the lines a bit, which is very easy to do and is kind of part of the charm of this masking powder, this gives me a more precise line. The hard part is getting rid of the crumbs without spreading more of the masking powder. Now, if I untaped it, I probably could brush it off more easily, but I don't really want to do that. If, like I said, if some of the masking powder isn't within the flowers, that's not the end of the world to me. So I am going to start painting with my cool little palette. Now, this spring palette has lemon yellow. I feel like a Fruit Loops commercial. Lemon yellow, transpiral orange, green gold, quin rose, green apatite genuine, manganese violet, alvero's fresco gray, and Veriditer blue. Really not ever sure how to say that. And it's in this cute little wooden palette. So those are the colors. So I am going to get them just a little spritz over here on the side so I don't cover everything. And I'm going to start with the sky, which is going to be most of the page. So I'm going to mix up some Veriditer. Someday I'm going to look that word up so that I'm not just stumbling over it. And we will see how the masking fluid did. I feel like I have green in my brush. Now, see, it went off a little bit there. It's probably from my trying to get rid of my crumbs, but that's okay. It's really fine with this picture that I'm trying to do because I am trying to not have real straight lines, lots of blurry poppies dropped in the back, that kind of thing. Now I'm going to go into some green, and I'm going to start with green gold. And get some of that in here. Don't want to go down too terribly far into too close to my dates and stuff down here. I like to kind of keep that a little space between them. And I'm getting a little close here. And now I've got the green apatite genuine. want a little green up in my blue. And I want a little bit of the transpiral orange. I'm just going to drop some here and there. Okay, now we need it to dry before we can take the masking powder off. But when it reaches the stage where I think I can scrape, I might do a little scraping. Let's see if we're there. And we need to let that dry. I think while we're waiting, I'm going to use a little Alvaro's Fresco Gray. And just pop some centers into some of these mushy ones in the background. Because I want them to read poppy. And that's very poppy. This one looking a little bit like a daisy. Okay, I think it's dry enough that I could use a hairdryer and not send it flying. So I'm going to do that, and I will just cut it out so you don't have to listen to the hairdryer. Okay, it has to be completely dry before I can take off the masking powder. I'm going to use this lovely Cretacolor eraser that erases things wonderfully, but I don't want to run the risk of trying to erase on wet paper. So it still needs a little bit more time. Okay, we're going to see if this is ready. I'm hoping it's dry enough now. So now I am going to erase all my spots where I put the masking powder. All right. And we shall find out if I got rid of it or not. So, like I said, I wanted this pyrrole orange for these poppies. That's part of what was so pretty about it on the reference sheet. I'm trying to get this to stand and it just doesn't want to do it. That's better. All right, so I have a very watery mix. It looks like it's off of there. So I am going to paint these poppies right now with a really light Pyrrole Orange. Now the ones that I painted while it was wet that I threw in the background, those should stay a little, they're on the darker side because they mixed with the blue. And that's kind of okay because I wanted them to recede a little bit. Now this one right here is going to be the one that gets the most detail. So right now I'm just dropping some darker bits in it. Some of these ones up here. While the color is still wet and can blend a little bit. Add a little bit of orange to those. Brighten them up a little bit. Wanted that. Popped a little Quin Rose in there. Be awfully boring if it was all the same color. I think it is time to work a little bit on our leaves and stems. The Green Apatite Genuine. A little bit of that orange. Okay, and now I want to add little poppy seeds. Wait for that to dry a little bit. I'm going to do a little splattering, so I don't want the white to get splattered. Maybe this side will be a little flatter. Okay. All right, so That one's a little different, but I think that's all I'm going to do. I think it says spring. Spring is coming. Really it is. There we go. These calendars are a lot of fun. I don't know if there's still any available. I know they came out with some more at one point. And I know that there's another one available that I'll link in the description. I think Grabby makes it. And it's a little different format, but same sort of idea. Or just paint along on regular paper, and you could print out a calendar if, on regular watercolor paper, if there aren't any available still, or if you don't want to bother with January, February, and March, and you can just jump in at April. Or you can just paint the seasonal pictures and forget about the calendar part. That'd always work too. So if you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button, and a comment would be wonderful. And I'd love to hear from you. And I really do appreciate your being here. So thank you so much for watching. And if you would like to, please check out my Etsy shop where I have prints of my artwork, along with cute little monsters and other fun stuff for sale.